Hi guys, FrostFangs here, back with another Paladins video, only playing some Betty today with arguably the weirdest setup for a fire. He did get nerfed in this update, which is why I've finally gotten around to making a controlled fury video, which is the talent for today, and a build to match it and try and make this work. It's really the best way I can put it. You can pretty clearly see what I've done here if you compare it to the other Betty builds, because we've still got the F distance and the vertical, the extra health and the ammo gen. Just instead of the other card level 5, we have explosion radius on the Q to help out with the talent, and yeah, just make it the best it can be, because the other cards for it really aren't doing too much. Alright, so for game 1, we've got a Tyra, Buck, Ray, and Barrack versus another Barrack, Dredge, Cassie, Buck, and Grover on Salt Foreman's Rise. This might be terrible, it might be great, I'm honestly not sure. I haven't played it in a game just yet. I did mess around in the target practice for like the build and stuff, but got Mercy Kill, Fortify, Bounce House, and Extension, but this might go terribly. We'll see. Impulse, Bounce House again, Abyss, Spike, Rampant Blooming, and whatever their Barrack grabs. I went for Death Hands first, which you don't need to do, but on Betty, it's still really nice to have. Did just lob the Q over, hit the Grover as he was jumping too. Any damage with that? Or none at all? Dredge is there, we're hitting a few of them. Do have the Q up, I guess we just lobbed that there to block off a door. You do have a little bit more damage. I don't know what happened with my weapon there, if they're super close to it, but it's significantly easier to avoid, because obviously the spread on it's tighter, which is why we buff it out with the card a bit. Not having the tick damage here is surprisingly annoying, because it works as like a pseudo reveal normally, and not having that, especially if you're not got the movement to sort of compensate for it, feels kind of odd. We'll just jump the Buck here. There we go. Sure, the Q's in an okay spot. I suppose it melts shields a little bit better, because it's a little bit more, you know, tight spread, but just about avoided death from the Cassie. Hello, Dredge just jumped into his ult, but we're fine. Let's go for the ult. I guess we'll go all the way over and just lob it down there. Maybe we'll get some in with it. Grover for like the full amount, but it didn't kill him because he just jashed away. I can't even make words come out today properly. Hello, Barrack. What I was trying to say is that 2 seconds on the cooldown should help out a little bit, especially with it actually being a pretty decent ability if we throw it in the right spot. So that's really the only thing I can give it as like a positive comment so far. We'll throw it just there. Left click, right click, just spam as much as we can. Buck's here on the Ray. Finish him off. At least we can just avenge her. Oh my god, that didn't go out. Buck here again, just jumping on the team. There we go. I did grab Kronos to spam it even more, though I don't know if I'd really recommend that on Betty. It does help, especially with this setup, but most of the time the extra explosion radius is a good thing. Barrack here going super hard with the ultimate, but you don't usually want the spread to be smaller because then it's easier to dodge. Although sometimes it can be a little bit better depending on, again, how good you are placing. I imagine if you're really good with Betty and you love her Q, you can probably make this work. I think just for most people, it's a really weird talent. Even with the cooldown reduction, I don't know if I can really recommend it. I'm trying to play it. I do have it up a little bit more often, which is kind of nice, but I don't know if that's really worth the trade-off. We got rid of the Dredge. I threw the Q again. I've really been spamming it. If she had like a limb reset, then maybe, because then you can have like multiple out, but yeah, it still feels like it's got a pretty long cooldown. Even with Kronos 3 here, it's probably still got like 10 seconds on it. Of course, the other big thing with it is it doesn't actually go on cooldown until it finishes, which is a really big deal, because it actually lasts for the same amount of time, and even with the cooldown reduction, it's about 10 seconds, a little bit shorter than that, but yeah, it doesn't go on cooldown until after it ends. If the talent made it go on cooldown when you throw it, then that'd be a pretty big buff to it. Probably be too good though. Drop a Q just there, maybe that'll do summon for us. Yep, it is also a little bit weird with how it ends up being placed, but yeah, you can sort of see there, that was solid. Sometimes it does work, it just doesn't really feel like the talent is making it better most of the time, at least for me. We're just going to go here on the Dredge and blast him. There we go. Cassie's also here on no health. I feel like even with the nerfed fire, I'd rather have that than this talent right now, which isn't something I usually say in videos, because I don't usually make videos on talents that I don't really think are very good or like, but I'm trying to make this work, and even now playing just one game with it, it feels weird. Although again, I can totally see how you can make this work if you're really good with Betty. We'll throw the Q in there, maybe get rid of this Barrack here. Big damage. That's kind of the best case scenario for it, and it still didn't really do very much. I feel like I threw it in pretty much an ideal spot there, and it still didn't really get me that much damage, and I might have had a little bit more doing some other stuff. I don't know. Throw it here again, just directly on the Barrack, and that was a little bit better. It's not even going to clear the shield, though. The damage on it isn't even that crazy when you think about it, compared to what you can actually do with other characters with similar sort of abilities. It's a Barrack ult, just lob the entire kit there on the team. It didn't really do that much there again. Left click, right click, sure, go for the ult. We lobbed the entire kit right before that. There's some big damage numbers. We'll just throw that there. That got me the Barrack. There we go. My weapon is now bugged. I am so scuffed right now. We got a hit on him. Should be able to get rid of him. There we go. It sometimes does do a hell of a lot of damage. If you catch it really in the right spot, it does like do pretty good compressed hits, but I just don't really think it's worth the trade-off of having something else. Yeah, it still isn't like a giga ability, even if they're in the super controlled like area for it. The right click feels like it's actually a little bit better sometimes. Throw the Q just there, jump around the side a bit here, get the reload in, left click, right click, we'll just pop the F so we have a little bit more movement. He's going for the ult, and we'll just jump around so he can't get free hits on me. Maybe we can make this work. There we go. The game is over. We got rid of the Grover somehow. I think it was with the F actually, but we put up a good fight for it, even though we did get kind of shredded. We're 100 behind here. I think I played Betty relatively well. I just don't think the talent really did that much for me here. The 8 seconds on it is actually kind of the best selling point, because because that's significantly lower than it is normally, but you're probably going to get 10 if you don't have the talent. You just go for full Kronos, so it really isn't that much different. But there we go, there are the stats, 91k. I'll take it out of, probably ended up with about 100 with Fiery, would be my guess. The Dredge did beat us out by a little bit, but we did have top damage, me and him by quite a bit there. We did fine there. Grover was healing for a ton. This was pretty much exactly what I was expecting it to be. Gotta Bounce for me is definitely going to be a choice over it, as is Fiery even after the nerf. I could totally see if you love the Q, maybe this would be an ability for you, but I think unless they change it to be something like it goes on cooldown when you throw it out, I don't really know how this is going to be a thing. But if I'm wrong, definitely let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you play with this all the time, or you don't, for whatever reason, let me know both sides. I'd love to hear it. But maybe this will be a bit better. We'll give it a shot. We'll grab Controlled Fury and then the setup here. Again, I don't know if this card was really doing anything. You'd probably be better running something like an F heal or like something to buff out the right click, then going for this card. But maybe this would feel even worse without that 50% extra card. I don't know. It was doing, I suppose, something. It just didn't really feel too impactful, but neither did the talent. So what can I even say? I should have grabbed Death Hands. There are the talents on the teams. But this is really a solid map for betting most of the time, but the Q isn't probably going to do too much here. Was that a proper sentence? I don't think it was. We lobbed the Q there. We'll throw some left clicks over. It does kind of help you to zone, which is the whole point of the ability. I don't think you're really meant to deal that much damage with it. You're just meant to keep people away from somewhere where you've thrown it. And this makes that less effective because it's more compact. Barbecue just here. There we go. He's finally gone. It took forever. My weapon just bugging out. What am I even aiming at? I don't know. I guess we'll just jump around a little bit on him. Okay. Fly around a bit here with the Ultra Lob. That there. That should get us something right. There we go. Massive explosion. I feel like the actual frames just stopped. Play the next slideshow, please. We'll throw the left clicks over. Got some damage there on the Q. Some right clicks too. Yeah, when it's in the right spot, it does hit pretty hard, like I said in the first game, but it's just harder to get it in a good spot because of the talent, which isn't what you want. I feel like I'm being pretty harsh in this one. Probably the most negative video I've made on a talent in a really long time, but that's, I think, part of the reason why I never covered this, because I was expecting them to do something with it. And I suppose they did. They hit Fiery and got a bounce like a couple times to maybe make it a bit more even. Some good damage there on the Furia, but yeah, this still doesn't really feel like a good option over the nerfed versions of the other talents. We'll throw that there. Buck going kind of massive in this one, just spamming his entire kit as Bucks do. That's a Betty ult. See if I can get rid of him. There we go. We traded. I'll take that. We'll finish off Kronos. We got kind of shredded here again. Go for the ult. Lob that there. Maybe that'll get us some in. No? Did I just miss? I don't know how the hell that missed. We'll F over here again. Buck still dead somehow. Just getting some lucky spams here. The Buck is very, very low, but I'm not looking too good either. Never mind, cheating with the heal. We'll throw the Q just on us. Luckily, you can't deal self-damage with it, I don't think, so you can use it kind of defensively. But again, the talent isn't really helping with that. That's the Fury ult. Honestly, kind of a hard one for me to commentate. There's just so much spam going around everywhere. We'll just jump around here on the back, try and disrupt him a bit. There is the defeat. I feel like I again did fine in that one, but the talent didn't really do anything for me. I honestly don't know how else to put it. It just doesn't even feel like I have a talent other than my Q being very slightly up more often and a little bit of a tighter spread on it. It doesn't really feel like I'm running anything to buff out my kit. Especially with the card here, you'd think it would be more noticeable, but yeah, a runaway doesn't really feel like it's doing anything either. So if you are going to run it, I would recommend just a normal Betty build. But anyway, there you go. There are the starts for game 2. We somehow managed to match their Betty there. Their Buck went kind of massive. Props to him. He had a pretty much ideal scenario for it there. 23-4. I think we killed him at least 2 of those times. There's nothing for me to really add here at the end. I was expecting to have some sort of, positive thing that I could point out about it, but yeah, I just don't, which is why I never covered it. This is pretty much the best scenario it's ever been to try and show off Controlled Fury. Got a bounce, got nerfed like 2 times, I think, at this point. Fiery's been nerfed a bunch as well, and I still don't know when you would really grab this. But again, if you've got any thoughts on it, please let me know down in the comments. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you've enjoyed. Of course, let me know what you want to see me do next. I'll see you guys all very, very soon. And as always, stay FrostFangs.